The 2012 policing plan has been released. The plan is a continuation of last year's, but includes a more comprehensive proposal to give the police even greater power to go into areas where criminals hide and weed them out. The commissioner plans to tap into civic, religious, and corporate Bahamas to create a safer country that we can once again enjoy. Shanique Miller has more on the effort to take crime in hand in 2012.
2011 shook up communities and left too many Bahamian families with an irreplaceable void. 127 murders, the majority driven by the drug culture. Police found young men were the perpetrators of those murders. In fact, these young men fit a general profile: unemployed and not even interested in seeking work. Instead, enticed by the lure of drugs and a lifestyle of crime. The mix deadly and challenging for officers throughout the force. Commissioner of Police Ellison Greenslade.
The vast majority of whom habitually use illegal drugs and abuse alcohol. We also saw the proliferation of illegal guns, which were indiscriminately used by relatively young men who sought to settle their drug disputes and other conflicts using these instruments of death. Further, persons using and addicted to drugs continue to wreak havoc in our communities.
That is why the Royal Bahamas Police Force's policing plan for this year is all-inclusive, taking the advice, cries for more to be done, and recommendations for a solution from every citizen. Greenslade says the fight is not the police's alone, and the answers come only when all government agencies and citizens come on board.
We listened carefully to what our communities were saying. Every same day, as I listened to the news reports, I read the newspapers, I took note of what was being said. So did members of the executive management team, commanding officers, and other members of this force. And so in putting together the plan, we wanted to ensure that those views were incorporated.
Now, this six-pronged policing plan for 2012 is quite extensive. There are 38 action points attached, which includes firearms tracing.
And provide the best equipment, training, and exposure to officers assigned to this unit to enable them to be more effective in investigating and interdicting firearms trafficking and related offenses. That is a specific action.
And then there are parts of the plan that may prove contentious, but with 127 murders on record last year, the commissioner and his team are only intent on reducing crime.
Continue to target prolific offenders with a view to arresting them and taking them before the courts. That appears simple, but it's a very important point, because it means that we're going to have to execute warrants on homes, knock on doors at various hours of the day and night, and arrest people. We find that always creates complications. Continue to target prolific car thieves and disrupt their activities at suspected and known chop shops.
There were some bright spots that will only get brighter this year. Those new laws pertaining to possession of illegal weapons are paying off. Greenslade says he and his officers are no longer frustrated over arresting a suspect and having the individual released soon after. Instead, there are now more people behind bars serving time for possession of illegal firearms, something that's sure to cut down on the number of illegal guns on the street. Shanique Miller, 7S News.